3, 2, 1. Hello, folks. Welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck. My name is Adam Arduino. This is my mom, Gina.
He's the journalist.
She's the enthusiast. And so today's show, we are going to be talking about sponsorships within professional sports, and specifically the NBA, the NFL, and the WNBA, and just kind of how it pertains to really just all sports. But right now, we've got two sports that are transitioning into the corporate sponsorship all over their jerseys, all over everything. And that's within the NFL and that's within the NBA. And so we've got a lot of interesting points we want to bring up here. And
Can I give you my first point?
Yeah, well, as we continue with this, yeah, we've got Mom here with her points. And all the other sports that have their sponsorships as well, especially golf and NASCAR. We'll talk about that. But yeah, go ahead and let me just hear what you have to say about this topic specifically, because this is an interesting one.
Well, here is my first point.
Okay.
That is the worst idea ever. Yeah. I have tried to watch NASCAR.
Yeah.
Because we're a sports house.
Sure.
We got 7 TVs and they're all on
Well, we've
sports.
got a major NASCAR track here in Kansas City, so you've got to. The Kansas Speedway.
Kansas Speedway out there.
So.
And you look at the guys, they get out, and the guy who's sponsored by M&M's, all you can see is the M&M here, because there's a Shell, Pennzoil, Shamrock, Nut
every
company,
oil company
up and down the thing.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting what's on the car. Okay? But that's NASCAR. That's their thing. That's what they had to do to get started. That's what they've always done. That's their kitsch and their niche.
Right.
It's actually kind of fun to watch. You can play the count the sponsors on the guy. That's part of NASCAR's image. But when you talk about sports like basketball and football, we just talked about in a segment earlier about the WNBA.
Correct.
You can't hardly even tell what city these ladies are playing for because of how much other sponsorship. It's like watching a Little League team where on the back of their shirt, it's the Pizza Hut, the Dairy Queen,
the local
JoJo's gas station,
grocery store,
Ted's Dry Cleaning all over it.
Correct.
You don't even know what league they're playing for, but that's what Little League do to kind of, you know why? You're offsetting the cost so that kids who
can
can't really afford to play
uniforms
can play.
And hats and gloves
Now
and things.
you're telling me that a professional sport has to resort to that in order to just get uniforms on the back of their athletes?
Especially sports like football and basketball, where they have NBA and NFL money.
Well, before you move on, let me just say the shame on the WNBA. Shame on you. These are professional athletes. I understand having a sponsor because you're not making the kind of revenue that the NBA is.
Right.
But it is ridiculous to slap these women, professional athletes, up with looking like walking billboards, a collage of that. Shame on you.
That's exactly what it is. And it's, I don't want to say it's embarrassing, but it's like,
it's embarrassing. As a woman, that's embarrassing.
The WNBA serious enough to be able to say, hey, we're going to have clean, classic jerseys without, you know, nothing against the hospitals and things like that.
Thank you for sponsoring
it. Exactly. So in a way, it's great, but at the same time, it's like, do we have to see all of those logos on the jerseys to just let everyone know who's helping pay for the stuff?
Well, to me, there's that part of that's that misogyny. It's like saying we do that for little kids, so we're also going to do this for grown women. And I don't appreciate that. I think the WNBA needs to find a way to have these sponsors get involved without logoing up their professional athletes.
And I get that early on in the careers of the WNBA because, you know, it's a fairly new league.
Right.
But now we're in the point in time now where we don't need all of that stuff. You don't need to know who's writing the checks for you.
So quit worrying about that. But back to your point. I'm sorry, I'm off my rant.
This is the topic, is the sponsorships.
It is.
And
now
logos.
you're talking about that bleeding over to the NFL.
So the NFL and the NBA are now, I don't know if you guys caught this, in this year's NBA All-Star Game, Kia was the main sponsor for the All-Star Game. Well, they had a Kia patch on the jersey this year, and they're going to start doing that for the NBA and for the NFL. If you guys have seen any of the summer workouts or OTAs or the training camps or any just the practice jerseys for the NFL teams, they all now have Lexus or Ford or GM or some type of Shell or
Verizon,
some type of
somebody is on there.
Someone is sponsoring those jerseys or helping pay the team or whatever they're doing. They're sponsoring the team, and so I get that. That's fine. But now they're talking about actually having different Ford logos or whatever on the game jerseys for the whole season. to me, that just, I don't understand that. I don't know why we have to see
because the price
all
of
that.
a ticket isn't high enough for
Exactly.
an NBA or an NFL game.
Exactly.
Because the television,
the radios, the everything, the advertisement.
Please.
Exactly.
And I understand. I'm a free market capitalist myself.
Sure.
I believe in that. I get it. Please, if someone wants to sponsor this show, I'll slap Kia all across.
We will be
everything.
wearing,
That doesn't apply to us.
JoJo Supermarket will be, yeah.
Okay, here's my point though. For the NFL, I think this is a slippery slope because you can't do it by team. Like the WNBA, they're sponsored by different local or national advertisers.
Right.
For the NFL, if you're going to do that, the NFL needs to have one sponsor because the danger is, let's say you're Sprint and you decide to sponsor the Patriots.
Sure.
Well, I hate the Patriots. I don't want to see Sprint, if I'm Sprint, have somebody who hates my team associating my brand with them.
Right.
So if Sprint's going to be a sponsor, they need to be the sponsor for the whole
blanket,
NFL.
right.
And then you make sure you only have one little patch
And it
somewhere.
needs to be small. It doesn't need to be so big that it's taken away from the jersey itself.
Well, and here's one thing that does it well. You played college football.
Yeah.
You went to a bowl game.
Yeah.
And you have a really nice jersey, couple of them.
Yeah.
And the Pinstripe Bowl was sponsored by New Era.
New Era, correct.
And there's a really nice New Era Pinstripe Bowl on the thing.
Yeah.
So it can be done. College has kind of led the way there. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, the FedEx Orange Bowl, where it used to be. I don't know who has the Orange Bowl. Because my brother has that jersey. So you can do it, but it needs to be tasteful. And for the NFL, it can't be team specific. It needs to be across the board.
Exactly.
The whole league needs to have the same sponsor.
If you're going to do a patches are one thing. If it is in conglomeration with something else.
Yeah,
like the bowl game, it's the Pinstripe Bowl, but New Era's got its thing on there.
Right.
You can have that if it's, Sprint, 25th anniversary with, something like that.
Are you going to have the Sprint Kansas City Chiefs, or is it the Kansas City Chiefs?
Exactly. I mean, so that's one of those things you run it up against. And you see this in golf all the time. You see all the golfers, their hats are labeled up from top to bottom. You're seeing it a lot, two or three patches on their polos.
See it in tennis too.
You're seeing it on tennis players. It's starting to really take its own thing here. And what we don't want to see is it becoming a distraction, taking away from the players and the teams themselves. Right. We're there to watch the team win. We don't care who's writing the checks. We want to see our players
quite frankly,
play.
Part of the people writing the checks are us.
Exactly.
Whether you're a fan who's buying a ticket, a $55 nosebleed ticket, or a $300 club seat ticket, or if you're the person sitting at home driving the ratings that are having the advertisers pay for it, the fans are supporting it.
Correct.
We don't need to watch our player. I do not want to see Justin Houston covered head to toe like a NASCAR race. I don't want to see that.
I totally agree. And it's unfair to the players as well. It's like, look, I don't even, this isn't even a jersey anymore. Like you said with the WNBA, it's a walking billboard. No one wants to see that.
Which is embarrassing for those women.
It is.
I'm proud of them for saying, look, I'll wear whatever I have to wear to do my craft, but it's embarrassing, it's a shame. And if the NFL and the NBA are going to do it, watch out Major League Baseball. And like we said, we're already seeing it in tennis. It's been there in golf.
Right.
It's just, make sure that it's tasteful, I guess, is my point.
Well, the advertising is one thing, but when you're putting it on the jersey and it's all over the place and it's distracting and it's taken away from everything else, that's when it becomes a problem. And like you said, we're the fans, we're the spectators. We want to go there and see them. We're the ones that are paying for it as well. And so you've got TV advertisement, you got radio advertisement, you got internet advertisement, you got all the advertisement you can use.
Plus the price of a ticket, and a hot dog and a soda cost you $55, which is more than it costs you to get into the damn last game in the first place.
Exactly.
Don't add a beer to it.
Oh, man.
You got to take out a mortgage to buy a beer at any of these professional games.
Literally.
So anyway, I hope that someone is
well.
listening.
Hopefully, we get some traction with this because we're not the only ones that feel this way. We've heard a couple of ESPN analysts that are not in huge favor of it, but they're like, well, we can't do anything about it. It's out of our hands.
Well, let me say this, fans, if you're not happy, go watch NASCAR, go watch a WNBA game, and ask yourself if you want to see football, baseball, basketball become that. That's the question you need to ask yourself.
It's a growing trend, so we're going to keep up with this. We're going to find out more information about what's going on with this, how this is going to,
you can keep them updated on the OTD Facebook page.
Yes, and we'll keep updating our Facebook and Twitter, and just continue to bring you more information about this. But if you guys have comments or questions, just continue to hit us up. We've got all of our social media pages up right now.
So what is it? What's our Facebook page?
Yes, our Facebook page is OTD on the deck. My Twitter, the OTD Twitter page is OTD_on the deck.
And mine, I finally got it right. It's at JRepass. underscore OTD.
There you go. So we are all live. We're all ready to go. We want to hear your comments. If you want to retweet
Only
us.
if they're good.
Only
Or your sponsor. Wrap us up, Seth.
Exactly. Well, anyways, with that, we want to say we appreciate your time and thanks for watching, folks.